Greetings and salutations. If you are new to the channel, I want to thank you for stopping by. My name is Eric Moss. I am a modern day performing strongman as well as a personal trainer. If you're unfamiliar with what a modern day performing strongman is I perform feats of strength like bending steel bars, breaking chains, that sort of thing as part of a live show. Having this YouTube series, one of the things that I wanted to do is when someone would ask me a question, I would answer it with their very own video. And this question came to me, and it wasn't necessarily as a comment, but it was a direct message on Instagram, and I had asked him if it would be okay if I screenshotted it to answer it. And since I didn't really have any answer or questions posted on any of my videos recently, but I wanted to keep this going, I wanted to have this out there. So his name is Kevin, and he may have seen me at this conference, I'm not sure, but he had said, "Hey Eric, just wondering, would you ever consider performing with a group of strongmen?" To answer your question, Kevin, even though I already answered it in the DMs, but yes, I have performed with a group of strongmen. One was, I've performed multiple times at the AOBS, that's Association of Old Time Barbell and Strongman Annual Reunion. I was always in the first stage, or second stage, whatever the first one is. That's where I debuted my Strongman in the Box, which was inspired by when I saw Jonathan Goodwin's presentation. He was recently injured. I am hoping that he is okay. So I've done that one multiple times. Plus, I've also performed at the Strongman Spectacular, which was coordinated by my coach, Hercules Chris Ryder. That happened along with Mike Gillette and John Fernandez and a bunch of others. And that was a lot of fun performing with these guys. Now, to kind of answer the question moving forward, because a lot of those happened when I was an up-and-comer, AOBS I do as part of honor. And with the Strongman Spectacular, we were kind of seeing where this thing could go, and I do think it potentially had a lot of potential, but we just didn't end up running with it. So, I would be more inclined to not necessarily perform with other strongmen, but I would want to perform with other kinds of entertainers that are similar but different. See, one of the things, like when you're performing in a group, and it's like any kind of team, really, you want to fill in the parts that you can't do. Like each team member would step up into their own individual roles. So I wouldn't want someone else to bend a horseshoe. I had to leave the door open because it's really warm today. I wouldn't necessarily want someone to do a horseshoe, bend a steel bar, because I can do that. But what I cannot do is a mind reading demonstration or sleight of hand or juggle or any number of these things that a bunch of other people are already wildly talented at. And it would take me a long time to try to figure that out, and I feel like it would diminish my show if I were to try to learn magic. Now, having said that, I do enjoy doing my own thing more. One is like, I am a professional, and if I do it with a group, that means I gotta split the proceeds. Not that I'm greedy or anything like that, but on top of that is when I am agreeing to do a gig, I just have to make sure that I'm available. That's easy. When there's like a bunch of us and someone's inquiring about a gig, I gotta make sure that we're all available. And generally speaking, when there's more moving parts in something, there's more likely an issue of something going wrong. So I hope that answers your question. Kind of going back to that is I would like to do a group. My wife, a couple of years ago, my wife took me to go see The Illusionists. That's when I saw Jonathan Goodwin, as well as like a whole bunch of other heavily talented magicians. Jonathan Goodwin is a stuntman who was recently injured. I hope he's okay. But I walked away from that inspired to do something similar. It was like an escape where I was locked inside of a wooden box that was held shut with chains and locks and stuff like that. And the only way for me to escape would be to break the lock or the chain or some apparatus, and I made it a pretty heavy duty construction, partially because I needed it to look as sturdy as it was, so that people knew that that wasn't some kind of flimsy contraption. And I think that a show like that I wouldn't want to do it all the time, but I think some of the time it would be a lot of fun. So, Kevin, I want to thank you for asking me this question. I want to thank you for allowing me to screenshot it so that I could share it on my YouTube channel as I answer it a little bit further. But in the meantime, until next time, also, if anybody else has questions, please drop it in the comments below. It helps give me content by knowing what you guys want to hear. It also helps my videos get found in the search engine, or in the algorithm that makes it pop up in people's feed. And if you like the content, please let me know by hitting that like button if you want to see more. Also, it's like the talk of some of the strongmen that were doing the team thing before is like the power team came up and Omega Man came up, and a lot of them tend to have evangelical messages. And I don't normally have an evangelical message, but I do have messages that have spirituality built into them. I don't do them often, but I will be doing a motivational speech at a church this coming weekend. Even though I've presented it at religious schools in the past, I've never done it specifically in a church. So I hope that this goes well. I'm going to be putting things into it that I wouldn't normally put in a presentation, that I would like to put into a presentation, because I am a very spiritual person, without being preachy, that is. So if you're in the area, drop me a comment and I can let you know where it is. Or if you're in the Morris County area, that is, of New Jersey. But in the meantime, if you like the button, let me know by hitting that like button. If you have questions or comments, drop it in the comments below. It helps me get found by the algorithm and lets me know what you want to hear about. If you think that anybody should see this, please share it with them. But in the meantime, please stay happy, stay healthy, stay strong. Please stay safe, everyone. Eric Moss, over and out.